to Mike in Ohio, who has some questions about this notion of faith healing. Mike, what is on your mind today?
Hey, Christy, Jaimie, thank you so much for taking my call. It's great talking to you all.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, just my spirituality, I would identify as pagan, panentheist, agnostic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So with faith healing, you'll hear people from different faiths talk about, let's say you take addiction, for instance, talk about how this deity, Jesus or whoever, has taken this addiction from them.
Mm-hmm. I
would never tell somebody to forego, to not seek medical treatment. And, you know, if, like I was telling the screen caller, you know, with the placebo effect, there's still an effect. But, you know, you can take somebody who who stays secular, who goes through a, like AA or NA, and that would take the addiction from them as well. So, but if you focus it on a deity and you get some type of result, then there would be an effect, Jaimie.
Well, functionality does not prove truthfulness. Like if I believe real hard this lucky rabbit's foot's going to give me luck and I get luck, then that's fine. There are a lot of fallacial pitfalls that you have in front of you, unfortunately, things like the Texas sharpshooter, where you essentially make the data fit the model you want. There's a lot of that, cherry picking, etc. Now, I do understand that there are benefits to what you might call alternative treatments. And that's why in the medical field, we don't call it alternative treatment if it is provided in concert with standard treatment. It's called integrative medicine. And it allows for the use and exploration of non-standard treatment vectors without putting the patient's life in danger, because they're going to continue with the standard treatments as well. Of course, the treatments have to be proven to be safe. They don't necessarily have to be proven to be effective. So what do you think of that?
Okay, so I hope this is answering that. Let's, like, for me, okay, if I've had a particularly bad day, if I am suffering with, not suffering, if I'm experiencing some type of depression, mm-hmm. and I go out into nature and I meditate and I get a dopamine release and I feel better, then I've had an effect.
Yeah, how you feel is how you feel. It's true. Yeah, I mean, your mind is a big part of your body. You know, however we want to slice it, whether we want to describe the mind as the brain or whether we can have a more sophisticated understanding of our entire neurosystem and how all of this works together. I mean, I'm a therapist. Like, everything I do could in some form or fashion be described as a placebo. You know, I'm helping people talk through their issues as a way of changing their frame of mind so that they feel better. You know, in addition to that, like, I'm trained in hypnotherapy. Hypnosis is all about the study of focus. It's all about focusing on which beliefs are actually benefiting you and serving you, and which beliefs are causing you to have some form of distress. I don't know that we're saying different things here. If we want to say that so much of health and wellness and experiences of joy or fulfillment or satisfaction versus anxiety and depression and distress, if we want to say that the difference between those things is really just how you think about them or what's going on in your head, cool. Yeah, I'm more or less on board with all of that. When we talk about faith healing, the concern that we are presenting here is that, yeah, people can have positive experiences. And to a certain degree, I don't care what kind of medicine is helping you to get better, to feel better. But the danger comes from people making really outlandish, unsubstantiated claims about how their faith is necessary to heal them. And then people don't get those positive results. You know, I have a mother who is disabled, who has lived with chronic pain her entire life. And I have watched countless people stand over her, laying hands on her, praying for her, praying in tongues, doing all of this like really wild shit to try and heal her injuries. And some non-zero amount of time, it may have helped her to feel better. But so many times she walked out of those experiences still disabled, still with chronic pain, and now with the added burden of being told by her culture, by her community, that her pain was her fault, that her pain was her lack of faith in God, that her pain was because she just didn't have what it took for God to really want to give her that gift of healing. And that led to incredible depression, that led to incredible guilt, and is certainly something that I would never want anybody to experience, whether they are paying money for these so-called faith healers or not. That is a awful, awful experience. So it takes the whole question of faith healing and acknowledges that there can be incredible damage to it, not just because it doesn't always work, and not just because it can cause demonstrable harm, but also because it can prevent people from pursuing the medical avenues that potentially would benefit them. How does all that strike you?
Understood. I actually agree with you on that. I was trying to make a conversation here.
Sure.
Well, I appreciate your all's time. I might have been a bad call. I really agree with you guys. I was just trying to make a conversation. But Christy, Jaimie, I love your all's show. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Hey, thank you. I apologize if it seemed like I shut you down there. I just want to be really mindful of the fact that, yeah, our thoughts can be beneficial, but they can be harmful.
Yeah, that is the case. And the thing is that anytime faith healing alone is tested, it turns out to be no better than a coin flip. And again, it's thin. Yes, I know thin end of the wedge is a fallacy, and that you can be suckered into thinking that any small problem is going to cause big problems later. But the kinds of mind patterns, the kinds of thinking patterns you have to engage in to believe that something like faith healing is going to work will lead you down potentially dark paths. It leaves you open, vulnerable to people who would tell you one thing that's comfortable that isn't true, but seems like it should be, and then leech off that to make you do terrible things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really does just come down to what is it that these ideas are pushing us towards, and are those things healthful? You know, yeah, the way that you think about things is very powerful. It is very important. And I would like to be thinking about things in a way that is grounded in reality, that is verifiable, that is testable, that is replicable, because I'm much more likely to come to ideas, to come to treatment strategies, to come to beliefs and notions that are going to reliably cause beneficial impact.